Welcome to the Motivational Talks podcast. In this 47th episode, we will talk deeply about men seeking validation. We hope you find this message empowering and gets you thinking. On this podcast, we discuss real-life topics and struggles some people encounter. If you like the content and message of Be Empowered Media, please consider subscribing to this channel for more motivational content. Let's get started.
Fellas, we've got to talk. Because too many men are out here living their lives on autopilot, chasing one thing without even asking why. And I'll tell you why. Validation. We don't want to admit it, but so much of what we do is tied to seeking approval. And if you don't face that truth, you'll spend your entire life performing for claps instead of living for purpose.
That's the harsh reality. Most of us have no idea how much of our identity is built on someone else's opinion. You think you're grinding for success, but deep down, you're grinding for approval. You think you're chasing women for love, but really you're chasing validation. You think you're putting on muscle for health, but let's be real. It's often about flexing in the mirror and hoping somebody notices.
Right. Let's break this down, because there are 5 main areas where men seek validation: appearance and lifestyle, achievement and status, social behavior, relationships and women, and emotional fronts. And once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Appearance is the first one. Look, we all want to look good. Nothing wrong with that. But ask yourself, are you hitting the gym for you, or are you hitting the gym so someone says, "Dang, bro, you're jacked"?
Facts. And it's not just the gym. It's clothes, watches, cars, vacations, houses. Let's be honest. How many men buy something not because they need it, not even because they love it, but because they want to be seen with it? They want that silent approval, that head nod, that, man, he's doing well. That's freaking validation disguised as lifestyle.
And here's the trap. You'll never have enough. You get the nice watch, then you need the nicer one. You buy a car, then you want the upgrade. It's endless. Why? Because the respect you're buying isn't real. It's rented.
Now let's move to achievement. This one's deep. Men are wired to achieve. We set goals, we grind, we compete. But here's the problem. When achievement becomes the only way you feel worthy, you're a slave to the scoreboard.
Exactly. Think about it. How many men want the title, the big office, the promotion, not because they love the work, but because of what it says about them? They want to finally hear their dad say he's proud. They want their friends to think they're successful. They want to post it online so everyone claps.
But here's the ugly truth. Once you hit that achievement, the applause fades. Then what? You're empty again, chasing the next one. That's why so many successful men are miserable. They've been running on a treadmill of validation, and no matter how fast they run, they never arrive.
If your identity is tied to achievements, you'll never stop chasing. You'll never be satisfied. Because what you're really chasing isn't growth, it's approval.
Now let's talk about how men act socially. This one's sneaky. Men will do the dumbest stuff in groups just to not be the odd man out.
Yeah, drinking more than you want, going along with bad ideas, laughing at jokes that aren't funny, even pretending to like things you don't like, all for the sake of fitting in. And here's the part that stings. That's weakness disguised as belonging.
Exactly. We think peer pressure ends after high school, but it doesn't. It just changes form. As grown men, we'll still act out of character just to earn respect in the group. But every time you fake it to fit in, you lose a little bit of yourself. You're trading authenticity for validation. And when you do that long enough, you forget who you really are. That's why so many men feel lost when they're alone, because their whole identity is based on who they are around others. Now this one, it cuts deep. Men chasing women for validation. Let's be honest. Most guys don't want to talk about this, but a lot of men measure their worth by how many women they can get.
Yeah, it's like a scoreboard. The more women I get, the more of a man I am. That's not masculinity. That's insecurity with a suit on. If your manhood is tied to conquest, you'll never stop needing the next one.
And even in relationships, it shows up. Some men don't stay because of love. They stay because they crave validation. They want the praise, the compliments, the attention. It's not about partnership, it's about ego. But here's the truth. If you're using women to fill the holes in your confidence, you're never going to feel complete. Because that's not love. That's validation dressed up like intimacy. And the last one, emotional fronts. This is where men suffer the most. We're taught to hide. Don't cry, don't complain, don't show weakness. So we bury everything.
Yeah, we fake toughness. We say, I'm good when we're not. We smile when we're freaking broken inside, and we think that's strength. But it's not. That's performance. That's living for approval.
And the strongest men I know aren't the ones who hide. They're the ones who own their truth. The ones who say, yeah, I struggle, but I'm still standing. Because vulnerability isn't weakness, it's courage.
And here's what men don't get. If you don't deal with your emotions, you'll find other ways to cover them. Addictions, distractions, validation seeking. You'll keep performing for claps because you don't want to sit in silence with yourself.
So how do we fix this? It starts with brutal honesty. Ask yourself, why am I doing this? Why am I lifting? Why am I grinding at work? Why am I chasing her? Why am I posting this? If the answer is, so people notice, you're living on borrowed worth.
Exactly. You gotta shift from validation to identity. Stop chasing applause. Start building a foundation. Work out because you respect your body. Work hard because it fulfills you. Date because you want partnership, not a trophy.
And when it comes to emotions, start being real. Admit when you're struggling. Admit when you're tired. Admit when you're human. Because the moment you stop hiding, you stop needing validation to prove you're strong.
So here's the call out for every man listening. Strip it all back. If nobody could see your car, your house, your muscles, your bank account, your girlfriend, would you still respect yourself?
That's the freaking question. Because if the answer is no, then your confidence is rented, and rented confidence always comes due. But if you can look in the mirror with nothing to prove and say, I'm proud of this man, then you've built something no one can take away. That's real strength. That's real masculinity.
So stop performing. Stop begging for claps. Build a life that doesn't need applause to be worth living. Because the world doesn't need more men chasing validation. It needs more men grounded in authenticity, discipline, and purpose. Thank you for listening to this deep discussion about men and validation. We hope you found this conversation informative and also entertaining. Until next time, gentlemen, be empowered.